Hello everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to do Hatching-tide for this year. Last time I believe they combined Hatching-tide and Little Ladies Day into one event, giving us a 2-for-1 deal. And then telling us that it's good enough for 2 of them. Anyway, I think in that one we helped like a pink globule? I don't remember exactly what they're called. And it had like stage fright or something. I don't remember what had happened. This year, let's find out what we're going to be doing. We started off in the MK Amphitheater like usual, and I believe we need to talk to Jill Aliapo, is that right? Yes, same person as usual. Let's go ahead and talk to her and get started. In pursuit of excellence, Jill Aliapo has a great deal to say about Hatching-tide. Hatching-tide is upon us once more. I hope the season finds you in excellent fettle. I don't know what fettle means, I assume that means mood. For my part, Berlian, it is an absolute pleasure to see you again. Well, isn't that like everyone's reaction when they see me? While I have your attention, allow me to expound upon the nature of this year's festivities. Hatching-tide has its origins in the days before the 7th Umbral Calamity, when 12 sages of an era past appeared before me in a startling vision. I have been visited by such dreams ever since, and this year was no exception. I saw a great mass of eggs as vivid as those before you now, borne aloft unto the heavens. Making dreams manifest has never failed to lend wonder to Hatching-tide before, so needless to say, I intend to bring my latest vision to life. So you're seeing things? Maybe you shouldn't be eating these eggs. Speaking of which, the eggs I commissioned ought to arrive any moment now. Oh, Jill, it's a disaster. Of course it is. The cart toppled over en route. En route, I think it's en route. Thankfully, the driver was unscathed, but I can't say the same for the eggs. Good heavens! I'm glad to hear the poor driver was unharmed, but without the eggs, how are we to breathe life into my dream? Don't worry, I'll simply fashion more eggs myself. Though, to create the quantity required will take time, and we're already facing at least a minor delay at this point. If only I could assign someone to help you. Ma'am, I'm standing right here. You don't have to beat around the bush. I'm here to do the quest. Alas, the other dreamers are busy enough as it is, and I must see the schedule alteration myself. I must see to... Oh, okay. Or I could have Brilliant do it. But wait, Brilliant! Perhaps you'd be willing to lend a hand. I mean, that's why I'm here. Brilliant! How wonderful to see you again. Knowing what an exemplary assistant you are gives me cause for hope. I really hope they don't keep these egg puns up. If you're happy to help, that is. I literally can't say no according to the Dark Knight questline, so... Thank you. The first order of business will be procuring more of the necessary egg supplies from the merchant. Our supplier should be in the market. He's a burly fellow, so he won't be difficult to spot. We can only hope he has enough stock. Alright, let's go find that burly fellow. I'm sorry I cannot attend to the eggs personally, but your assistance will make all the difference. Thank you. Right, Jill. Anyway, let's head on over to the markets, find that burly fellow. So, probably, yeah, let's go and take the mini aetheryte over there. Yeah, that's a bit of a shortcut. Let's see, this way. It looks like he should be to the left once we get in here. There he is. Just barely saw him there, and there's Nanata also there. There's our man. Ah, you're the dreamer who was here before, ain't you? A right old mess, to be sure. Afraid I'm all out of supplies you need, though. Of course he is. Oh, is there nothing you can do for us? Well, I do have some tatty old odds and ends, or surplus wares. That might be a use. If you want them, they're all yours. Surplus eggs? Like, old rotten ones? We're talking about eggs here, right? Oh, okay, like painting supplies and stuff. Okay, that makes more sense. Might not be exactly what you needed, but I'm sure you can cobble together something with these. The storage fees were eating into my I'd rather see them put to good use. Right, sir. You're not Nulda, you don't have to pretend. No, wait, I guess you would be out in the open if you were in Ul'dah, but not in Gridania. Anyway. When I ordered the initial batch of supplies, I remember thinking what a kind fellow he was. He certainly proved me right, right. Any road, we'd better take stock of what he's given us. Bunch of, little, wheedled down colored pencils and stuff. Let's see. This leather looks durable. We have some metal springs and rings that could do for a mechanism of some sort. And these lengths of timber could be cut down to a more portable size. I mean, Lala-sized? I think these herbs and resins are used to concoct water-repellent alchemical solutions. Never tried it myself, but there's a first time for everything. Besides that, there are plenty of bits and bobs. You should have no trouble when it comes to decoration. Yeah, we're just gonna hang up springs everywhere? Unfortunately, we won't be able to recreate the eggs Jill saw in her dream with these. We could make something far easier to get off the ground, though. Parasols. The trick will be making them look eggy enough. Well, I mean, if you just make them rounded at the top, it'll be fine. Any rounded object looks like an egg from far away. It's science! That's basically what I just said. The shells make the egg, as they say. Do they say that? Any road, we should paint them. ... And let's go with the first one. That's what I said. I see. We can mimic the shape of an egg with the canopy and add some seasonally appropriate patterns to the outer shell. I can picture it now. Parasols are a sight more fiddly than our standard egg, though. With just the two of us, production will take far too long. So we'll need to enlist further help, just as I did with you. Fortunately, the guild artisans should be less likely to balk at our request for parasol parts than a rush order for myriad eggs, particularly if we supply the materials. Yeah, I don't think they'd be happy about painting a bunch of eggs. Now, making parasols, that's a different story. Let us first pay a visit to the Leatherworkers Guild. I'm sure they'll be able to transform our leather into something fit for a canopy. I don't think she's gonna be very keen on doing literally anything if it doesn't mean it's gonna turn a profit. If I recall correctly from the quest line. I remember the guild, I vaguely remember, I have a character that I'm very, very slowly working through MSQ on. And I did some of the leatherworker quests and skimmed through that dialogue. And I recall her being like very cutthroat in, I don't know if that's the right word for it. Anyway, let's see what she has to say about this. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, this is the person. I've explained the situation to Geva, and she seemed inclined to sympathy. If we keep our manners about us, we should manage to secure the guild's assistance. Alright, Geva. I haven't seen you in a long time. I did those quests a long time ago. Ah, if it isn't Brillian. You must be the adventure assistant Nata spoke of. She was just informing me of your plight. Many of our apprentices are looking forward to Hatching-tide celebrations. You shall have the guild's aid. although I'm afraid we lack some of the resources needed to work your leather into parasol canopies. The material is water resistant to a degree, but nevertheless porous. Untreated, it'll degrade over time and begin to rot. Well, why does that matter? That's later. They'd sell it to the people, you got the money now. And they'll worry about it, and then they'll have the holes in their parasol later. But our stock of coding is perilously low at the moment. Is this going to be a giant fetch quest chain? Not fetch quest, a trade quest chain. If it's water repellent you're after, say no more. We just so happen to have the necessary ingredients. How convenient. So I can see to its preparation. In the meantime, would you take this timber over to the Carpenters Guild and request that they craft a parasol frame? We can meet up by the Black Rabbit Trader's stall anon. I don't know where that is, but we'll go with it. Trust that your leather is in capable hands. Alright, where am I supposed to go? Oh right, the Carpenters Guild. I recall that questline was, like, even weirder. I can't remember what it was about. It had something to do with, like, a son? No, I really don't remember. The guy, maybe the guy was, like, a womanizer or something. I don't remember at all. This was a long time ago. Anyway, let's head on into the Carpenters Guild. Meet up with the guild master. Alright, beaten. Bitten? I'm gonna go with beaten, because he got beaten. Why do you stand there like a frightened schoolchild? If you need something, speak. I got, this thing. Can you make some frames? Parasol frames? A task not beyond my own skill, no doubt. Would the imminence of the holiday not force you to compromise their quality? You have done well to seek aid, Brillian, and you shall have it. The younglings in the acorn orchard await the festivities. For their sake, no effort will be spared in the parasol's preparation. We shall commence work right away. Let your associates know that the Carpenters Guild has the matter in hand. The timber you provided lacks the flexibility needed to create arching ribs. However, Mistress Fucha will doubtless assist in procuring what we need. I don't know who that is, but I'll assume that it's in good hands. Anyway, let's head on over to the stall right here. I realized they meant that stall, but okay. I trust everything went well at the Carpenters Guild. I mean, he said that the lumber wasn't suitable, but he'd figure something out. I've just placed an order for the alchemical solution and a few other things besides. The next thing will be to piece all the parts together into a prototype parasol. I'll bring the prototype over to Jill once I've finished, so you can go ahead and wait with her. Alright, let's head back over to the amphitheater, meet up with Jill, and wait around. I like when I don't have to do the work. Yeah, so it looks like, let's see, do they have anything for Hatching-tide? Let's see, I think this is, yeah, that's just the same stuff they always have. Anyway, let's head back over to Jill. Okay, sprint is back up. Alright, Jill, we got a prototype coming over our way pretty soon. Welcome back, Brillian. You'll be pleased to hear that I've adjusted the schedule to accommodate our little mishap, and all is set to proceed. How fare the eggs? We don't really have eggs, but we do have parasols. Substituting parasols for eggs? What a wonderful idea. Okay. I did not expect it to go this well. I can hardly wait to see what Nanata cooks up for the prototype, though wait we must. Alright, let's do the second quest. Exceeding expectations. Okay, this is getting old. Jill Aliapo is patiently waiting to see the parasol prototype. Nanata will surely be along any moment now. sorry to keep you both waiting. Allow me to present you with the very first Archon Egg Parasol. Keep on saying Paracel, it's Parasol. Interesting design. What a fine example of ingenuity. It's magnificent, well, at least it's not excellent. I'm so glad you approve. With your blessing, I'll begin producing more to distribute. In the meantime, we find ourselves at a loose end. But we cannot let Nanata outstrip us in Hatching-tide spirit. There must be more we can do. Do we have to? Let's show off your parasol to the townsfolk. Perhaps we can drum up a crowd with the promise of gifts. Yeah, let's do that. It's all about the money. Free stuff. But of course, we ought to promote our newest okay, this is literally the exact same thing they would have done if I said the first option. But of course, we ought to promote our newest addition to the festivities. If we tell even a few Gordonians that our gorgeous accoutrements, sure, will be available to those who celebrate with us, word will spread on it of its own accord. With that in mind, I shall keep mine unfurled and on display. You use your adventurous instincts to identify those most in need of egg-themed accessories. Isn't that like literally no one? The market is always busy. Let us look for potential celebrants there. And Walker following mechanics, yeah. You can talk to the thing, do speech bubbles, alright. Head on over to the market. Let's see, there any, yeah, there's one speech bubble out there in front. In fact, I'm gonna just take the mini aetherite again. Take a little bit of a shortcut, get over there quicker. And there should be a speech bubble right outside, yes. Okay, Jill, what have you got for us? Discuss the decorative basket. Oh, that one there, okay. We dreamers are responsible for all the decorations you see throughout the city. Take that basket over there, for instance. I came up with the idea, and Nata worked her magic to create the final product. Interesting. Let's go ahead and talk to this person here. You know, I wonder if our inventor sense is just that we have a quest marker above... We can see quest markers above people's heads. That's our adventurer's instinct. I say, madam, you must tell me where I might acquire a splendid parasol like unto your own. At our Hatching-tide event, of course. How about it? Will you join us at the amphitheater? I'd be delighted. As a true connoisseur of eggs both decorative and edible, I attend annually in hopes of glimpsing Ovid to perfection, and this parasol surpasses my every imagining. Such excellence, such elegance, such egginess. I thought he was gonna say egglance or something like that. They were one step away from being completely cringe. Alright, Eggus appraiser. Why, that parasol is an absolute delight. It's not often you see that level of craftsmanship paired with such decorative flair. This might be the finest egg-inspired apparel I've ever seen. Might I ask who was responsible for this masterpiece? Unfortunately, it wasn't me, for once. The Leatherworkers Guild and the Carpenters Guild, Black Rabbit Traders, and Art Dreamers all had their parts to play. And if you join us in celebrating Hatching-tide, you could receive one just like it. Ah, I should have known that the guild's artisans were involved. If it means getting my hands on a parasol, I'd be more than happy to take part in the festivities. Alright, 2 down, 1 to go. Who are we talking to out here? An egg enthusiast. Heavens above! Is that adorable parasol fashioned after an Archon egg? Exquisite, isn't it? If you join us at the amphitheater, you'll receive one just like it. For years, I've searched for a parasol as darling as an egg. That's oddly specific, but okay. Getting sunburned and soaked by turns, and you offer me one free of charge. 'Tis a Hatching-tide miracle. Ma'am, are you okay? That's kinda odd. I expect those three will tell all and sundry about our parasols. Our work here is done. Alright then, let's head on back. Go ahead and try and take the Aetherite again. There aren't any more speech bubbles, right? I wouldn't imagine there would be. Be kind of really off the beaten path. Oh, never mind. Just gotta go right here. Yeah, there we go. Well, that went rather swimmingly. You clearly have an eye for egg connoisseurs. Maybe it's the text above their head that says they're an egg appreciator and such. Also, they had little quest markers above their. What do you mean they had quest markers above their head? Text above their heads? What are you talking about? And what are you talking about looking at that map? Nothing. Well, that went rather swimmingly. Clearly, yeah, I saw that. I said that. I shall go and see how many attendees are gathered at the amphitheater. Feel free to join us when you have a moment. Sorry, I never have a moment. I'm always busy. That's why I never get any sleep. Alright, let's head on back. Yeah, that's gonna be the end. Okay, that was really quick. The first one took a little bit of time, but then the second one was just walk around and talk to a couple people. Then again, that, like, kind of encompasses, like, most of Final Fantasy XIV quests. Alright, let's talk to Nanata first, and then Jill. The folks you gathered certainly are enthusiastic about showing off their parasols. Fortunately, no one's lost an eye. Well, you're a Lala, why do you need to worry about it? You're not in range. Look, Brilliant. Isn't the sight of parasols simply marvelous? I mean, I guess. It'd be a lot more marvelous if we were able to charge for them. Also, it just seems weird to have them all just standing there holding the parasols, staring at us. Eggs held aloft, just as in my dream. You mean you had a dream like this? This sounds more like a nightmare, but okay. Hooray! We did it, Jill! I just realized it's Jilly. I just realized there's an I at the end. I've been calling her Jill for like 3 years now. Yeah, it's Jilly. There's an I at the end there. We certainly did. Shall we officially declare this Hatching-tide a success? I mean, if I get my parasol, I'll be fine. Hold that thought. You've yet to see the half of it. Oh, okay. My Senta. I'm not quite sure I follow. Quite a few of my customers asked about your parasols. More than can comfortably gather here, in fact. Nevertheless, I took the liberty of handing out stock to those who came inquiring. Ma'am, we did not give you permission to use our product. Expect to hear from our lawyers. With how many left my stall with a smile on their face and a parasol in hand, the whole city is awash in floating eggs. That's incredible! To think the parasols are bringing joy even beyond our celebration. Wait, Jilly. They're one and the same, aren't they? The celebration is spread across the city, borne by great mass of floating eggs. You're right! I was intent on gathering people here, but the eggs in my dream were far too numerous to contain in one place. They were always meant to be seen far and wide. That our original plans met with misfortune was a blessing in disguise, for we've touched the hearts of more people than I dare to imagine. There's no doubt in my mind. This will go down as a Hatching-tide to remember until next year when I forget what we did. Black Rabbit traders shall continue distributing parasols to those who ask. They may be free of charge, but they're drawing business in spades. Nanata told me how to assemble them, so I can repair as many as necessary. You know, now you're just flat out stealing our design? Now you'll really hear from our lawyers. Ma'am, have you ever heard of copyright law? Truly, where would we be without your ingenuity, Nanata? I couldn't have done it without our able adventurer. Oh, of course not. Nothing would have happened if I hadn't accepted the quest. Ah, that reminds me. I have something for you, Brilliant. Oh yeah, give me my parasol. That's the very second parasol I ever made. After Jilly's, of course. I thought it fitting that you receive it. With eggs aloft across the city, all that's left is to enjoy the festivities. Your work may have finished, Brilliant, but Hatching-tide most certainly hasn't. Why are they all just staring at us? Anyway. When Nanata first relayed the awful news, I wondered how we could possibly salvage the situation, but now I can see I needn't have worried. This has exceeded all expectations. Thank you, Brilliant. Adventurer, I had such fun preparing the parasols with you. I'll be forever grateful for all your help. Alright, I think the parasol is like the only real thing you get from this for this year. I'll go ahead and just check the vendor. Check this guy. No, not him. Advocate? Oh yeah, it's just that thing. And then this person doesn't have anything, do they? Nope. I guess that's gonna be all for now. Let me go ahead and equip the parasol. There it is. Stand over here by the waterfall, I guess. Alright. That's gonna be all for today. I know it's a short stream, but I wanted to get through Hatching-tide. And then, so that I could get the video ready, or get the video edited and ready so that I can post it on Monday. But that's gonna be all for today. I mean, I don't really use the fashion accessories that much, or at least the umbrellas and stuff. So it's not really that, interesting. I would have preferred some sort of funny glam. Anyway, that's gonna be all for today. Hope you had a good time. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow or not. I know I've only been doing like one a week. I've only been doing like Saturday or Sunday. My hand is slightly cramped up, but it's not as bad as it usually is. I might still rest again on Sunday, but we'll see. Anyway, that's gonna be all for today. Until next time, goodbye.